All right, so welcome to this episode of the podcast. Today we're going to be talking about something a little bit more sensitive because I'm a victim of this, and we're going to talk about review, okay, the review economy. Now, the world has changed so drastically because in the past, when you want to make a decision on something, many times when you're about to buy something, right, you will go to a sales page and the sales page will tell you whether you want to buy or not. Like, it will convince you, right? Now, before we go deeper into this, remember, if you're brand new to this podcast, make sure you subscribe. If you're just listening to this, you're not sure if you want to do this, make sure you subscribe anyway. I want to make sure that you don't miss out on the future contents that we're putting out.
Yeah, for sure.
So let's go straight into the content here. Now, right now, a lot of people, what they do is that they actually, when I make a purchasing decision, many times I look at the reviews, and this is so interesting because I am subconsciously doing this. Like, what I do is that every month I will go to Amazon books and I will look at books that I would want to buy to read. Now, if you understand something about books, when you buy a book, you're not only investing your money, but you're also investing time to consume the book. So for me, having a good book that is worth it, it's not so much about the money for me, it's about the time. Because I want to buy a book and then I don't have the time to read it, or I actually regret reading it because there's a few books that I wasted so much time reading it. So many times I would check at the ratings that Amazon has to make sure that it's worth, and I actually read through all the ratings as well. I'm very subjective in that. But one thing is that many people tend to make a lot of shallow decision based on the number of stars or the number of reviews they got. So what's your how has review influenced your purchasing decision or even your investment decision, any of the decision at all?
Well, for me, I predominantly watch reviews before even making a decision of purchasing from a particular product or even from a particular store. So to me, a review is very important because it gives me the sense of security that someone else has already done it. They've gone through the experience. If they are happy, chances are I would have a chance to be happy. If they don't like it, it tells me like I should steer clear from it. And it's a little bit of a good thing and a little bit of a bad thing. Now, for the people listening back at home, a little bit of a context because a lot of times when people start businesses, right, they think of investing tons of money into like the store and they put tons of money into how it looks and how it feels so that when people come in they feel secure, they feel safe, they feel like this is a place that I can do business in. But in today's world, right, it doesn't matter anymore because so many businesses, they don't necessarily need to have a nice store to get that kind of a feeling. It's about what people say. But back in the day, it was like mouth to mouth. It's like one person over the whole, like having dinner together and it's like, hey, you know what, this book is amazing, you should check it out. That's all. But in today's world, it's such a fast-moving pace kind of a context that you can just watch a review at the bottom of purchases, at the bottom of products, and people take that for granted. And I realized I've been a victim of reading reviews that were totally fake, that were totally bonkers. It's like the businesses themselves put it in. And I've also gone through the process where I read fake reviews of competitors sabotaging businesses. So I've learned to realize after like many experiences, good and bad, that reviews are not necessary as what it is. You really need to do a bit more due diligence. You need to do a bit of homework. But I noticed that is the real trend right now. Businesses have evolved. As business evolved, how the economy of running marketing and business also has evolved. And like the topic that we have today is review economy. So I'm a very actually curious to actually go into this topic. Reason why is because as a consumer, I felt cheated before. I felt happy to get these reviews. But I would also like to think about it as like, how would a business person utilize this better? Because you, of all people, have been in that position where good things have been said by your students and competitors that take advantage of your good name, tarnish it to get traffic for them.
It's actually a lot more than that. So I'll explain everything here because if you Google my name, there will be people that have like bad the websites.
They love you, they hate you.
And I think a lot of my compatriots, or I wouldn't use the word compatriots, or maybe people that are doing in the same business, or even I see people hated Mother Teresa before on YouTube. Like they write really bad stuff about her and you know, you can't please everybody when you're a public figure, but my position is a little bit different. I think I'm going to go into that a little bit later on. But first thing first, you were mentioning something very important in terms of competitors writing bad reviews about you. And I want to just give you a better example here, because not everyone, if you have a restaurant, for example, or cafe, right, and then adjacent to your building or adjacent to where you live or adjacent where there's your cafe is, there might be most likely another cafe.
Yep.
Right. And one thing that people, especially consumer, don't think about is this is actually true story here. Many people actually will use anonymous accounts or they'll create a fake account and drop bad reviews on their competitors, Google reviews, Yelp or TripAdvisor. And many times they do that because they want more customers to go to them. Like, it's like a win-loss mentality, right? Someone has to lose for me to win, which I'm not a big fan of. That's why I don't really like write reviews about where I spend my money on, or I write reviews about whether I like something or don't like something. Many times I talk to the manager about it. I say, hey, I think your food here is not that great. I think you got to improve this. This is my feedback for you. And that's how I usually sort things out. Like, but right now a lot of people, what they do is that when they don't like something, they went and post online and number one, sometimes it could be personal opinion, right? So some people, they like their steaks medium rare.
Yep.
So and some people like it medium well. And let's just say that you go to one of the best restaurants. I know this in Japan. There's a very famous steakhouse, which I'm not gonna name. What happened is that they are famous for making medium rare steaks.
Oh wow!
So they are that's what they're good for, right?
Okay.
Medium rare steaks. And before I went there, I remember I was queuing up outside and I saw a review on Google saying that we didn't like the steak here because it's too rare. Steak should be medium well. And when I check at the person that actually left the comment, and the profile photo was just like a cartoon. So I click on this comment, the profile of the person. There's no history and there's no record at all. So if you think about it, there could be three reasons. Number one, this could just be really a brand new account, someone that likes medium well steaks, right? And number two, this could be really an honest person that just have his or her own opinion. Or number three, it could be a competitor doing this.
Correct.
And I always believe that in terms of reviews, nobody got time for it. In terms of writing a review, if you're happy about something, have you actually gone and actually leave a positive review? People rarely do that, especially busy people in business, right? This is a very interesting thing because I realized this when I was asking myself, do people leave a 5-star review online when they're happy about something? And I realized that I was happy with a lot of the purchases that I've done over the last however many years, right? And I've never actually gone on and just leave a good review.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I just went to talk about this. Yesterday I had a really, really massive back pain, right? I went to this spa, this massage to get a deep tissue massage.
Yep.
Amazing. Absolutely amazing. And then now that I talk about it, I realize I didn't leave any positive review or any 5-star review, right? But for most people, what they do is that when they are slightly unhappy, they actually do leave a review onto the Google reviews or Yelp or things like that, which it's not wrong because that's what social media wants you to do, to create some fire, to create some conversation. But the problem is that I think too many opinions are too subjective, right? For example, room's too cold, room's too hot. I think everybody likes different temperatures, so you cannot satisfy everybody. I think people nowadays are just not very understanding in what kind of reviews to leave, right? When things don't go their way, they tend to think that they are the victim. They tend to think that they are being conned or being scammed. I see that all the time, right? Like I've had, I literally saw a massage review that said that the room is too cold.
Oh,
right?
okay.
Yeah, and then there was another review that said that I thought the temperature was all right.
There's also people defending it.
Yeah, and it's but the thing is, people don't actually read all the reviews. You know that people only read the top 3 reviews.
The drama part,
basically. Not even the drama part. Whatever loads first, right? So I think it's so unfair to use review as a way. I mean, I used to think it's a great way, a very democratic way to say what's good and what's bad. But I don't know about you. Like, obviously, we might have different beliefs. My belief is that sometimes giving people so much power to give a review to a business can be a bad thing.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
And one of my chiropractor, 2 years ago, he's one of the best chiropractor in the country. He actually has done chiropractic services for royalty in Malaysia, which I think about it, a royalty would not go to some abnormal, bad chiropractor.
Their body is too precious. Yep.
But the thing is, this chiropractor is very honest. And if he tells you that this is something that I cannot do, I'm sorry, I cannot do it for you. It will only make things worse. And the issue was that people didn't like him because of that.
Oh.
When he rejected clients for treatment, the clients were complaining about him giving him a 1-star review on the Google review, saying that this chiropractor is very arrogant. This chiropractor is very felt that he's more superior than his patients. They didn't really care about the patients, and him being a very he's a very confident person, very good at what he does, and I have a lot of respect for him. He went into the comment section and defended himself. He said, "Listen, you came in for diagnosis and I realized that you are not fit for my treatment. I told you that you need to go look for this doctor, that doctor, right? And it became a whole like argument in the review. And what happened was this person just give him even more one star review, and I realized over the next couple of days more 1-star review appear. A doctor should not be like this, a doctor should not be like, a doctor should be nice, a chiropractor should be nice. And I felt so unfair for him because he's one of the best chiropractor I've ever seen in terms of getting me the outcome that I want. I don't care if he's rude, I don't care if his I don't care if he smells, I'm not going to spa, right? I'm going to get my back fixed and I'm pretty much good to go, right? And I think that's why I think reviews can be so bad in a way. It can be good to tell people where to go, but again, it's very, very hard to say. I've been to restaurant with 5-star review, 4.5-star review, and I'm totally disappointed by it.
Oh yeah, I've been there too.
And recently I come back from a resort, which I'm not going to name. I was so tempted to leave a bad review because I was so unhappy, right? But I knew how hard it is to run a business right now, and I don't want to use this as a weapon to attack another business. And I simply tell the manager, I think this is what you should do. I think this is what you should have done. If you need any advice in terms of fixing this part, maybe I can help you because I've helped businesses before. That's what I offer. So I think for most people, if you're not a happy customer, I think the best thing for you to do is write a private feedback.
Correct.
To the manager.
Correct.
I think if you are trying to just leave a publicized negative feedback, you are just trying to attack the business and you're just trying to create job loss, and I think you're just trying to attack the business for no reason, right? And I think that's a very emotional move, which is very tough for businesses because I've seen businesses where they sacrifice so much for their employees. I want to talk about one of my friend. He sacrificed his entire savings during this coronavirus situation to make sure that none of his employees got fired. Okay. So he really go all out, sold his house, remortgaged another few assets that he have, took out like $500,000 ringgit Malaysia, which is $150,000 put into his business so that none of his employees got laid off and none of his employees have to starve, right? And I saw these employees going on Glassdoor.com, which is an employee review website. And they left a message saying that, this boss is so unproductive, it's coronavirus, he should be adapting. They were just trying to find something to complain, right?
Finding faults.
Instead of saying thank you, Mr. Founder, or thank you, Mr. Managing Director, for actually sacrificing yourself so that we don't have to starve for these 2-3 months. And I see this, and this business owner is actually a friend of mine, and he came to me crying that, Desmond, I don't know what to do. Why is human like this? And I say, listen, this is how destructive reviews are, right? And I've gone through a phase where when you are teaching people how to start a business, you will get bad reviews because no matter how legit your teachings is, people will say it's a scam. I've seen one of my mentors, Mr. Dan Pena, who lives in a castle, right? And I don't know if you read about him online. It's so ridiculous. Like, what happened is that people are saying that Dan Pena is a scam.
Wow.
And I wanted to know why people say that. I mean, how can you say someone with, like, he's got a Bentley, a Rolls Royce, a Ferrari, and a Porsche, and lives in a house that is huge, it's a castle, right? And has like, and he has had his name is on a public listed company and all that kind of stuff. Like, there's no way this guy is a scam, right? And the internet is just saying he's a scam. The castle is rented. I'm like, how the fuck can it be rented? Because
haters gonna hate.
Yeah, but the thing is, naive people are gonna fall for that.
Exactly.
That's the problem. Because I've been to Dan Pena's castle before. You cannot. I mean, and everything in his house is branded to his stuff, branded to his his family photos, his assets, and his car. And people are saying that that Ferrari is rented, that Rolls Royce is rented, but the car plate says his name there. Right? Dan S. Pena. I'm like, I don't understand why people can get there. And I think it's because people are getting a lot more skeptical. And I think it's easier to be a hater than to be a fan. And it's easier to be negative than positive. Right? What's your thought on this? The fact that I think in the world right now, people prefer to be negative over positive.
I guess people feed off drama. So what happens is like, I look at it two perspectives. Why consumers are eating it up, and one is why people bring it in on. Because it's a cycle. Like, people love drama. They want to hear the gossip. They don't want to hear solutions. They want to hear compliments. They don't want to hear feedback. So in other words, right, whenever there's dirt on anyone, right, it's so juicy. But as to compare to, like, the reason why this guy did it is the same structure of working hard, putting the building muscles, working it, sacrificing, get results. People don't want that idea. All right, and whenever they see someone doing it, and if you've done it in a little bit better than normal people, they kind of find haters because it's so much easier to make them a villain. And then at the same time, it's motivating people to create this, because when they create hate content, it's so easy to be distributed.
Right.
Views goes up.
It gets
becomes
the
popular.
focus. Negative always get focus. I always say this like a white piece of cloth. You drop a black ink on it. You're gonna focus on the black ink. You're not gonna see the rest of the cloth, even though the white spaces take up most of the spaces. But people are like this. They focus on the wrong thing. But I think that's why the media is messed up too, man.
Oh, for sure.
I think media is more entertaining than Hollywood right now, right? And that's why I don't really like the media, because they were just so focused on the negativity. They were just because I think it's triggering something in your mind. There are people that say that our mindset is always trying to protect us from danger. So we listen to negative things more because that's a symptom for bad things to happen.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
So I think that's one of the massive things. But what you don't know right now is that there is this thing called review remover business.
Yes.
But it's not a legit business. I'm going to explain why. Because I experienced this a couple of months ago. I
Okay.
never told anyone about this.
Okay.
Because I thought this was a very interesting scoop for everyone on this
Wow.
podcast.
Okay.
So there was this website called hollysmoke.org that actually write a lot of bad stuff about me, write a lot of bad stuff about my people that I know that make real money online. So I don't understand why people would do that, because and this website is brand new. Right, it's completely brand new, and I didn't even realize about this website until someone emailed me from, I can't remember the URL of the website, combat something. But I remember the guy that emailed me. His name is Robert Grant.
Okay.
And he said that, hey, there's a bad review. This website talks bad shit about you, bad reviews about you. I can help you remove it through legal means, and it will cost you this kind of money. Oh, I said, that's great. Tell me more about it, okay? And then he said that, okay, first thing first, here's how it's going to happen. You're not going to pay anything, but I'm going to remove this website for you. And then once it has happened, then you can pay me.
Wait a minute.
Okay, so it sounds too good to be true right now, okay? So knowing that I've done a lot of professional services with lawyers and accountants, I know that seldom happens.
Yep.
So, and he went away and removed it anyway. And he came back to me and said, hey, the website is removed. The page is removed. And I really went and checked, and it is removed. And I said, wow, okay, awesome. And then he sent me a PayPal request for, I think, like $3,000 or something like that, right? And what happened was that I think I was doing a class or something. I think I was doing a class at the time. So when I was doing a training or a class, I don't really check my emails because I'm fully focused on my students at the time and my participants. What happened was that I did not pay the PayPal until like the 4 or 5 days later after it was sent. He came back and he wrote the email in a very panicky way. Hey, that's when he'd been emailing me every single day.
Wow.
Asking like, where's the money? Where's the money? Where's the money? And I said that, I'm gonna review this with my team and then come back to you later on this. And then he didn't like it, and I said, because you paid so late, the website came back up again. The page came back up again. Okay. And then what I did was that I messaged him back and I said, listen, I suspect that you might be the owner of this website and you're trying to remove it. You're trying to get paid to remove your own website, right? And contacting me. And then he does this for a lot of my the people that I know in the internet marketing space or the internet business space, and he's basically leveraging their names. So just imagine this. Your name is Webster Koo. I went ahead and created a website. Webster Koo is a scammer.com.
Yeah.
And I get it ranked on Google. So anyone that Google you will see that you're a scammer. And I'll create fake articles about you, fake reviews about you, right? And what happened is I'll email you. I'll say, hey, Webster, you want this removed? And I'll pretend to be somebody else, obviously, right? Because if I go, I'm your savior. And pay me $3,000 and I'll remove that website for you.
What a scam, man.
Yeah, and this is real. And apparently this is happening with a few of the businesses that I'm talking to. Not even in digital marketing space.
You're right.
But we're talking about like in restaurants, hair salons. What happened is there are services where you pay them and then they help you get 30 good reviews, 5-star reviews.
Yep.
And then there are services where you pay them where they can help you remove negative reviews that they themselves drop. That's the funny thing.
The crazy thing is, right, it's not new to me. I used to work part-time in hotels, in restaurants.
Right.
And there was a period, and I think a lot of people work in restaurants before.
Yes,
and
I did.
You get to see a lot of different kind of
My first
characters,
job.
right? And as they will target fresh meat, people that don't know what to do. So what happened is, there was one individual that came up to me and mentioned that, hey, you know what? This food is bad. I demand do not pay for it.
Oh, that happens so much.
And then
man.
after that, it's like, I was like, I can't because you already ate it, and it's like it seems like you enjoyed it because you finished everything.
Right.
And then after that, it's like, okay, if not, I will go and put a very bad review on it. And when I mentioned this to the manager or the assistant manager back then, that person got panicky, and it's like because they know that if a bad review pops up for the restaurant,
Right.
it's going to be bad news.
Right.
So they just gave it anyways.
Right.
But it kind of like reminded me from your story just now. It's like, oh my god, that is blackmail.
It is blackmail if you think about it. It is blackmail. Like now you have two choices. You can either pay and hope that they really remove what they say they're gonna remove, or you pay and then they just disappear. Right?
So this is sucky, because if you're running a legitimate business, you're trying to make good for your customers, but here they are, a few leeches,
Yeah.
a few viruses that come into the business and sabotages you. And think about it. That's where I realized that I can't just depend on reviews to make a purchase. And I realized, right, the crazy stuff is about pricing as well. I would consider if it's an affordable, cheap product, if it's a low cost product, I am dictated by the reviews because of pricing more. But when it comes to high value things like a vacation, like a 4 to 5 figure product,
Right.
I don't read the reviews. I don't depend on reviews. I actually depend on my personal experiencing, visiting, and going through the experience. I realize it's mind-boggling, because
Right.
I will assume that because it's higher value, I will read more people's experience. But no, I put in more effort. I actually go in and experience rather than depending on what's on the screen.
I think it depends because you're different. Because I've seen people that actually, especially with millennials, why I say especially millennials, because I only hear these stories from millennials. Or what's the one that come after Gen X? Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So they were telling me, and they were making this like it's a good thing. Like these are some of the people that I personally know, but I no longer want to associate with them because the intention is so bad. They were traveling, and this was like a couple of years ago. They were traveling, and then they will go to like resorts, and then they will make something that is very small a really big deal, right? For example, they will stay in a hotel, and then in the hotel they will say, "Oh, I found hair in my bed and in a mattress or whatever," and then they demand for a free stay.
Wow.
And if they don't, and the hotel don't give that up, then they say that we are going to go online on and write every bad review on Yelp, TripAdvisor, on Google reviews, on as many places as possible. We're going to demand a complaint, and we're going to try to complain this to where the intermediary that we booked this hotel from, which is like maybe Agoda or Expedia, whatever they use, right? And these people they're not really my personal friends, they are friends of friends, and we were having dinner, and they were sharing this story, and and they were laughing about it, and they were saying like it's great that they're able to get a free hotel room out of this.
In their mind, it's like they are gaming the system.
Yeah, in their minds that they're gaming the system and getting a free stay. That felt like an achievement the way they were saying it in the book. And I myself, I felt like, isn't that robbing the business? I felt like, dude, what you that's not good. Like, I mean, if you're in business, then you can empathize. But these people, I felt like they're just robbing it. I don't understand like that mentality. And that's why I'm telling people, listen, if you want to buy, let's say my courses, like people judge me based on what they read online. If you judge me based on what you read online, how about reading my positive reviews too? Because people often say, Desmond, I hear bad reviews about you. Well, have you heard of good reviews too? And we've got lots of good reviews saying good things about more than the bad reviews. So, but if you're only leaning to one side, then that means you are just biased.
Correct.
And it's the same thing in politics in America as well. We have the liberal and the conservative. I think both are great. Why not go in the center? I'm a centrist. I'm right in the center, right? And I think people just want to pick sides. Because they have nothing to belong to, they want to pick sides. And I don't think that's fair for a lot of businesses today. And businesses today, they're so, like one of my friends opened a burger restaurant, like a vegan burger restaurant in California, having a really tough time. Not only he's being blackmailed by patrons that wanted free meal, otherwise they'll leave a bad reviews. He went through the process of fighting off looters. I think I read the news about people trying to loot businesses. And he lost. He was doing very well previously, doing about 4-5 million a year, and he changed completely to restaurant business because he's very passionate about educating people about veganism, and he might not last until the next 2 months.
Wow.
Because of how tough it is to run business, and I think most customers need to understand that. And I think using reviews as a blackmail should be illegal. I think reviews should be authenticated. It has to be done from a real customer, and it has to go through I don't know how we could do this, maybe some sort of debate or some sort of like an online judge, right, to verify that, hey, this review is actually legit.
Okay.
Because there's too many fake reviews, you know that.
The crazy thing is, right, a news network actually did some digging in this context. It's in Canada. So what happened is that they went undercover, they found out where reviews come from. And the original, on paper, it is where people go in, they experience, they review, right? But what they also discover is two sides of very dangerous coins. On one side is people paying to actually put in positive reviews. So you go things like
The
Fiverr.
review farms.
Exactly. They go to Fiverr.com, you just pay someone and that person will just give you a review.
Right.
And then on the other hand, you also have people that is extorting businesses by giving them, hey, either you pay me or I give you, or either give me free food or I'll give you a very negative review. And it happens both ways. And the crazy thing is, when the news outlet went to all these the platforms that host all this, their response is they're doing their very best and it's almost perfect and there's nothing they can do, even though with this evidence that they're showing that there is illegitimate reviews.
Right.
But they can't do anything about it.
Yeah. Because here's the thing though, you're right, the platforms need to be responsible about this, and that's why a lot of major companies like Coca-Cola is pulling out of advertising from Facebook, mainly because of this reason. And the thing is, here's the thing as well. I think consumers need to understand this. If you're buying something, one thing is, I always believe in this, especially if you're buying trainings, because trainings is easy. You can go check up the person that you want to learn from through a medium like podcast, through a medium like the YouTube channel. Don't look at what people say, because you have to make your own opinion.
Correct.
Right? And when I go learn from different gurus, that all the gurus that I learn from, they have very bad reviews too. Right? And because they're so unique in personality that when you are unique, people find a way to hit you on the other way, right? It's very common, right? I think that's normal. And I don't care about those reviews. I just take them as, oh, that's very funny. But at the end of the day, what I do is I go to the trainer, I go to the mentor, and I say, I want to learn from you. I am fully focused on getting knowledge and learning something. I don't care about what other people say. You know, there is this mentor of mine that I'm not going to name here because I have so much respect for him. And he teaches something that a lot of people said that is completely useless. He's teaching people how to be a better teacher. Right? Please don't name him. Okay, I think I shared his name a few times with you. It teaches people how to become a better teacher, which a lot of people find that to be not very useful. Hence, there's a lot of complaint about him, which I don't understand why those people sign up in the first place. Doesn't make sense. But I signed up because I started to become a speaker and a trainer. I want to become a better teacher and help all my students and participants. And I went in there fully skeptical, but I was ready to learn, and I was able to extract a lot of information that I could use in my own business, my own training program. But I still see people write bad things about him, online and offline. People were saying that, oh, these kind of things we already know, or these kind of things are so basic. And I just don't think that's fair to judge just like that.
Correct.
I don't know, like, I feel like today, the word is a little bit, as they say, fucked up. Okay? I think people need to understand that social media reviews or even website reviews, you got to understand who's behind it. What are the agenda behind, right? There's a website called stoppingscams.com. Obviously, he was using names of people that I know, internet marketers, famous ones, that are, he's very smart. He chooses the names of people outside of the US. You want to know why?
Why?
Because if he uses names of the people in the US,
litigation,
correct.
I get you.
So for us that are outside of US, it's a little bit harder to litigate him because he's in the US and he's protected by his laws. So he uses a lot of marketers' names outside of the US and then use that to gain traffic. And when he gained the traffic, he uses that to sell his own courses.
Actually, I came across that when I was researching you. The crazy thing is, I like I mentioned, right, high price things I don't review because I want to experience, right? So I actually went for the seminar that you were hosting. I remember because I traveled like few hours back from where I was running my training back to Kuala Lumpur just to sit in your session. And after the session, I was like, okay, I'm going to commit myself. I'm going to make this happen. And then I called Dan, was my girlfriend. I mentioned to her, I'm going to put this in. Will you support me? And then the crazy thing is she mentioned that, did I do my review checks and all that? And I'm like, no, I haven't. And then I checked. And it's like, oh my God, who is this person talking about this guy? And it's like, oh my gosh, am I doing the wrong thing?
Right, that's a fear-based that comes
That's the fear thing, yeah, because I didn't understand. And this is the crazy part. I didn't contact you or the team. I actually contacted my girlfriend at that point. And then she actually mentioned this. I knew about it, but I wanted you to experience. Because by the end of the day, it's only through experience you will truly know whether it's good or bad. And then after going through the whole process, I totally realized that what was written there was not true. And this is the crazy part. I went and did a bit of digging about that site. And apparently, if you go through the process, it's going to end up about how he bashed about everyone else accept himself, and he will put a very interesting like a scale of like, does this give this? No, this one does. This one doesn't.
Yeah, but that's very biased, isn't it? Like they can rate anything. They can even rate my seminar saying that the food in my seminar sucks, right? But you don't sign up for a seminar for the food. You get what I'm saying?
For sure, yeah.
We got people telling us that that's why I don't like your seminar. I said, what was the reason? Can you let me know? It will really help us improve. Oh, I didn't like the air conditioning. It was too cold.
But it's such a despicable strategy.
Right.
But they are making money because of the fact that it's working, because you put in the money to attract the right people, and then people get scared. And I think it's the same as those Nigerian print scams. It's like those emails are so silly that the super gullible will be the one doing it.
And that's what I was saying. Those reviews actually somehow has actually ejected some gullible students from our program, which somehow benefits us because if you think about it, if they can be fooled by a fake review website, I don't want them to come in here and feel like they got fooled, right? But if they did a research on me and they still join, I think this person is super committed to, and they really trust us and
I think
know we can help.
Yep.
So there's the pros and cons to that. But the thing is, what I don't really like about that is just the fact that people that are naive got fooled. I think this is really, they're just really spreading fear and stopping people from moving forward, and then redirecting them to their own benefit. Which is truly unfair, and this happens in a lot of industry now, which is insane. I think it's absolutely insane. And people often ask me, are those reviews real? Are those reviews fake? It's very simple. If I am really a scammer, I will be changing my names every year. That's what I was always telling people. Like, it makes sense, isn't it? Right? For this year, I could be calling myself Desmond Ong, and then once that name is burned, I'll call myself something else, right? Alex Lee, and then James Wong. I would keep changing my name over time, every year, and then people can't catch up with me. You understand what I'm saying? That's what scammers do. But I keep to my own name because I know that I did nothing wrong. I know that what we were teaching our students were what we were practicing in our own business. And we've seen results with that. And that's why we're just teaching people what we do. There's something wrong with that. But the only problem is that, I think giving normal consumers so much power, it's a wrong thing. And this is an argument that was argued in election as well. Should you give everyone a vote to vote? Now, some people say, yes, okay, we should give everyone, so it's fair, everyone gets a chance to vote. I don't believe in that. I believe the fact that you should give people that are woke, like they are aware.
They're knowledgeable.
They're knowledgeable. You cannot let someone choose the president of your country. You cannot let someone choose the prime minister of your country because that someone, just like that person, is more handsome than the other one. Or that person has a better hair, or that person has a better clothes, better sense of style than the other person. I think in terms of choosing a president, choosing a prime minister, choosing someone to be a leader, you gotta go logical. You gotta have one person pick for you, and that person must be no agenda. Okay, that person must have clear thoughts and must be aware. Because if their awareness level is very low, they don't know what an economy is, they don't know how economy works, and for that person to be given an ability to go out there and vote, that is just like telling people to sabotage themselves. Doesn't make sense. So I say this, I always say this, and some people say that this is too radical the way I think. I say that if you are not smart enough to vote, or even in this case give reviews, or if you're not aware or not mature enough to leave a review, you're not allowed to. I think people that are allowed to leave reviews should be people that are conscious, number one, hyper aware, and mature. And I've seen some really immature stuff in other people's reviews. Not mine, but I've seen some really immature stuff. People were saying that they were giving 1 star to this company, which I'm not going to name, because the people working in a company, she didn't like their uniform. Okay, and she gave 1 star, and then she's apparently a leader of like a little association group, and got her entire members to go and give the company that I was talking about all 1-star reviews on the business.
Wow.
Yeah, and if that's not enough, they also go on like other websites where they hire people where you can rate the companies and drop many stars as well.
They're motivated, are they?
And even I got a bad review I saw for my company because I remember a long time ago, one of the person that we hired really did a really bad job with the website. And I think as the leader of the company and something that really cares about giving the best possible to the customers, I called this person at 11 o'clock in the evening. I'm like, no, I've been trying to call since earlier, but couldn't reach out to him until 11 o'clock. And I said, hey, you got to fix this. Because if you don't fix this when we launch, because we were launching it tomorrow morning, the customer is going to see that our website is very low quality. And one of his biggest complaints about my company and me as the CEO of the company at the time was that he called me at 11 o'clock expecting me to make changes. 1 star. I don't think that's fair, isn't it? Like, I think the only lesson I learned from that is hire a lot better. Because in the past, when I was younger, when I come back from America, I had this intention where I wanted to cultivate people.
Okay.
I wanted to make people better, and I wanted to unleash their potential. And then one thing I learned throughout my years of running business is that first thing first, they must be willing to do that.
Yes.
Because I thought that maybe I'm willing to do that, I can inspire them to do that. Huge mistake. So that's a huge learning lesson for me.
You can't force them to be better.
Yes.
So it's quite interesting because for this topic, right, I feel like right now it's a great thing because we're having the opportunity to vent out about the issues about reviews. But I would love, right, like if anyone was out there running a business, how can they ethically use reviews to help their business? Or even if they are not running a business like a retail or anything and they want to help businesses using reviews, what would they do? How would they do it?
It's very simple. Just incentivize people to leave a good review.
Good.
And some people say that that's manipulative. I've actually heard people complain about that. But if you think about it, people don't naturally, when they consume something amazing, they go and leave a 5-star review. I don't think people naturally do that. So how can you incentivize them to do that?
Correct.
So one thing that we do with all our clients is giving them a voucher, giving them a bonus, giving them something if they leave a good review.
See, that's the line there. It is not bribing people, it is incentivizing. That is the line. Because you're not like, even if it's not good, give me a good review and I'll give you this. That's bribing.
Right.
But if it's incentive, if you feel it's good, you can do that. You know, as a token of appreciation, I'm giving you this.
Right.
So that's the difference.
Right. So that's what we do. We don't. And most people, when they are about to be given a free gift, many times they will not leave a bad review. That's the experience that we find. But one thing that we do is always ask them to write down the review first before we actually ask them to post. And the reason is because that way we know whether the review is good or bad, and then we decide whether we want them to post online or not post online. That is a very important thing for a lot of people that are running businesses. And again, people still find this manipulative. I get a lot of complaints. Not a lot, I would say maybe just 1 or 2 people, but I felt a lot because I don't find this to be manipulative, because I find leaving bad reviews and trying to attack a company just because of a personal agenda, I think that's a lot more manipulative. But how is it manipulative where we have a deal going on? I'm going to give you $20 coupon and just tell me what you feel about the product that you just consumed. And let's say you say it's great. Okay, well, Webster, could you post this up and then I can get you the $20 coupon, right? And if you willingly post it up, that's great, fantastic, right?
Perfect.
And but there's a few cases where people actually just post negative reviews anyway, and then they have the balls to go collect the coupon, and you know that happens. And again, that's why I say no matter what, I think platforms need to actually regulate this kind of stuff.
I think if platforms, because we can't depend on platforms to take care of our business, we have to do it actively, right? So I like to take that idea and like stretch it a little bit. I know you teach this in your signature programs, and I'll just like to give that hint if you were to give me the permission.
Of course.
So the thing I really love is you're actually giving them something for the fact of them giving feedback. Good or bad, doesn't matter. It's you giving feedback. So the reason why I love it is because on that piece of paper, what do you like? Simple as that. What do you like? All right, and what's your experience?
And we always mention one thing: please be honest with
exactly. You want them to be honest. Why? Because as a business owner, right, if there is something nice, yes, you post something, it's good for my marketing.
Right.
But if it's something that's not nice, I generally want to know how could I have made this better. Because if I can satisfy you, it's showing that I really care for you, and I really want to understand. It's like, is your demand really something that is following my business? Because let's say, for example, it's like, the food was too cold when it arrived. Then it tells me that, you know what, I need to find a way to make sure that from the kitchen to your table, it should be just enough time. I need to find ways to make it better. But if, for example, it's like, hey, you know what, I don't have Japanese food and I'm opening and I have a B&B, it doesn't make sense. So there's certain feedbacks I need to be able to also filter. As a business owner, I think it's so important
you
to
have
also learn to
because,
filter.
Because we talk about this, consumers are irrational.
Yeah.
I mean, if they're all rational, mature, we will love their feedback. We love their opinions and we love their reviews. But one thing we've learned, and if you have been following me, is that if you're in business long enough, you realize that especially with low-ticket consumers, they're highly irrational. We have some low-ticket program with the main intention to just help people. Just to we don't even make money from those low-ticket programs. And people will be demanding, I paid $9 for this. I gotta have I want to come to your office and you gotta teach me step by step for the next 70 days. and
It's funny, isn't it? Those that pay you tons more money for your time, they are willing to find the resources to make those work, and they just want their idea from you.
Correct. They
It's
just
so
need that
weird.
spark.
It's so weird. So coming back to this one, so it's as a business owner, the onus is on you. It's like if the review is good, you could ask the goodwill of the customer to post it
Yes.
on social media. If it's not, take that feedback and improve on yourself.
Bring it back to your team, and then definitely.
Perfect.
One thing we do is that I'm sure you know, because every single time we run a program, we did a fulfillment. We actually do a debrief meeting, and we will take the feedback that people posted about us, and then we will see where are the bad ones, and then we will have a discussion.
Correct.
Hey, this person said our program is bad. What is the problem? Is it us or is it them? And people always think that customer is always right. I'm not a big believer in that at all, because if you've been in business long enough, customer is always right is most likely something that schools teach, but it's taught by a business lecturer that has no business experience, right? I've had consumers and customers that just request irrational, and I don't even want to name them because I don't want to make them feel stupid and sound stupid, but you know what I'm talking about. Like, so many times we will have a meeting and we'll discuss, is this person, okay, this person has this problem. Is it us or is it them, right? And of course, we'll try our best to like, hey, we'll give them a call. Hey, I noticed that you got this problem. How can we help you with that, right? And for example, this happens recently with one of our program where we teach A, and this person say, how come you don't teach C? Right? We were like, we don't teach C because when we were doing the sales, we were saying that A is our focus. C, we're not going to cover it. Right? So people are like that. And at the end of the day, as a business owner, I think number one, it's part of life right now, unless platforms started doing something about it. And number two, if things get serious and if this is within country, you need to litigate. You need to use a lawyer's help. Now, I know people tend to not want to go to the court, but I'm a big believer of definitely suing. And the reason is because if this is untrue, if you don't sue, you show to the other consumers and yourself, most important thing is yourself, that maybe this consumer is right about the negative feedback. Because you have to sue to stand up for your own belief. Because if you don't trust yourself, if you don't secure your own belief, no one else will. And this is going to pass down to your team, your employees, your contractors, whoever you're working with, and then they're going to feel like that it's true because that's why you never litigate. But if you litigate, that shows that, you know what, I meant what I meant. And what you said, it's not true. Right? So people say, Desmond, don't have money for lawyers and things like that. Well, you got to find a way, because this is where, if you look at big businesses, if this happens to them, they will litigate for sure. Right? And it's not because that you want to sue someone and ruin their life. It's because this person was trying to attack you. They jab you with something. I always see this as a wall, right? Someone is trying to like poke you with a dagger, and then now you bring in the big javelin or something, right? And let them know that, hey, you got to understand this. Your comments are irrational. Your reviews are irrational. Or your reviews are not real. Okay, and you can't do that. And some of them. Now we are at a point where we are close to this review blackmail economy. I think all businesses, online, offline, if you're listening to this, be careful. Be extremely careful. There are competitors that will blackmail you. There are companies out there that are designed just with the pure intention of blackmailing you. And I just got one of those. That was an interesting experience. I'm lucky that I didn't send the money, because it's not so much about the money. It's more towards like...
you're feeding into it. Because once you pay them, you're actually incentivizing them to keep doing it.
Keep doing it for other people as well, which that's what we wanted to make sure this kind of things stop. But we can't stop this until the big platforms do something about it.
Correct. So from what I'm hearing so far, it's great content because number one, it opens up our eyes to what the whole review economy today's world is. There is definitely good and there's definitely bad as well. And knowing how to differentiate and really going into it open-minded. And then at the same time, as businesses, what can they actually do to actually do proper review for their companies, for their businesses, to make it move forward. And also a few tips to make sure that they don't get themselves into deep trouble. And then that's great. I think it's been great.
Hopefully you guys enjoyed today's podcast. It's a little bit of a different podcast because I want to share experiences as well as I'm not here to scare anyone from starting a business. I'm here to let you know that this is part of the thing as you go bigger and as you get more customer. It's part of life. Get used to it. Even Mother Teresa has her own haters. So, which I don't understand. Supposedly she's the nicest person in the planet. Princess Diana has haters. It doesn't matter who you are. You can be the nicest person in the planet, and people will still hate you.
That's
right. And all you need to do is focus on the people that loves you, the people that are fans of yours, and people that
Correct.
listen to you.
That's the reason why people start businesses. It's like they want to fulfill something. They want to be able to do something that they truly believe
Right.
in, and then at the same time take care of themselves and their family.
Right.
So let's not ruin things up. It's just finding the right ways or the best ways to move forward and grow from there.
Yep, for sure. So if you are not subscribed to this podcast yet, make sure you do, and make sure you share this with your friends.
Yeah,
See you in
for
the
sure.
next episode.
All right. Bye.